You mean habits? If we have good habits, they tend to perpetuate and continue on. It becomes easier and easier. Yes, so that is true. In the beginning, if we're not used to being generous, even being a little bit generous or giving up our time for somebody else is a struggle. It feels like, it's not comfortable. But as that becomes a habit, it becomes easier and easier until that just becomes the normal way that we do things. You know, just giving, helping, seeing how we can be of service. Right? It just becomes a normal habit, and the resistance begins to fall away. So then even if we're not mindful, the decisions that are being made tend to be along the lines of making more wholesome karma. Well, being aware already in and of itself is wholesome karma.
Yes.
Right? It's a wholesome state of mind. Simply being clearly aware. But then you can be clearly aware of an intention that might either be wholesome or unwholesome. It could be either way, right?
Yeah.
Or kind of not really clear. Right? So there's the wholesome state of mind, which is watching and observing.
Yes.
And then you recognize unwholesome state of mind. But as we recognize that unwholesome intention, the more experience we have, the more clearly we see that unwholesome intention, wait a minute, that has always led to suffering. Every time I'm watching it, that always has a bad result. And so then it becomes easier and easier just to let it go. Just boom. You see, you see the angry, like a moment of anger coming up. You say, oh, wait a minute. I've seen this before. I know where this is going. This is not going to be helpful. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything. Just drop it. Right? So then gradually, doing this, the tendency or habit to anger gets less and less, weaker and weaker, until finally it becomes easier and easier to meditate because we have fewer obstacles. And then meditation is able to go deeper in our samadhi. The samadhi gives then a lot of purity and strength for developing insight, and then you can get insights into the nature of the self, the actual identification that we have that can uproot everything completely.
Because by nature, humans are very reactive. We tend to react very quickly to things, but it's just learning to be
Most of us, yeah.
Well, I personally am a very reactive person, so I try to learn to be unreactive and to take a step back.
Right, right. And if we're clearly aware with mindfulness, it feels like we have more time. A reaction comes up, but then it feels like we have a bit of space around that to see, is this really something I want to say? Is this something I really want to do? What is this reaction? No, this is not going to be helpful. Right? Or many reactions are good and wholesome and positive. Right? And so we observe, oh, this reaction is coming up. Oh, this is a reaction of being open-hearted or generous or kind or forgiving. And then you think, oh yeah, this is worthy of expanding. Intentionally giving it more attention and effort and making it bigger and expanding it. All right, very good. A few things for us to think about today. just a little bit, completely undermine your sense of who you think you are. Pull the rug out from underneath your sense of self. So, now what? Now what do I do in life? But it is very beneficial to at least start to think about how this really works. Start to observe in our own life how this works on a daily basis. What are the true causes of happiness and suffering? And those are very practical things that all of us can do. Okay. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you.